James? Just do the thing.
Thank you.
It'll probably fall off. So I'm James Hawkins. I'm a martial artist from Baltimore, Maryland. The first thing I want to say is, one, thank everyone for coming. Really appreciate you coming out and supporting this event. The second thing is I want to pay proper respect to those that came before that have shared their knowledge, which is why any of us could be in the room. So if you guys have or haven't had the opportunity to get on the floor with some first generation Ed Parker black belts at this point, I know some of you directly train under some, please take the time. If you find events near you that you can make it, please make it, because we're running out of time. I'm thinking about my instructors. I was fortunate enough that I've met most of them. So I started with Jim Frederick in Towson, Maryland. His instructors were primarily Hans Klemisch and Joe Palazzo. I've been on the floor with both of them before they passed. The next instructor I had was Bruce Smith. His instructor was Mr. Paul Mills. I never got on the floor with Mr. Mills. I missed the opportunity. Another one of my instructors is Max Bushkoff, who trained under Frank Trejo and Huck Palanis. I've been on the floor with both of them, but now they have both passed. So the opportunity to get in with these guys is, the window's closing. So if you got an event near you, don't think like, oh, well, I got time, because I'm gonna be blunt. There was a Huck seminar near me shortly before he passed, and I missed it, not even thinking like, oh, I'll have time to catch the next one, and there won't be a next one. So thank everyone for coming out, and let's get right into it. So we've had a lot of great seminars where Kenpo is, so for the most part, what do we do when we're defending ourselves? We're laying the guy out, we're blasting into him, we're hitting with everything we got or everything we need to get the job done. What do we do when we're in a situation where either A, you don't want to do that for some reason, or B, you can't do that for some reason? So some of the work that I've had to do was security work. Some of that security work was in medical institutions, psychiatric institutes, sporting events. I've also done some bouncing work. Sometimes the rules of engagement mean I can't just blow this guy up the way I want to just get this over with. I've got to do something a little more subtle, a little softer. For if Dave Patel was still here, we were talking about the optics. How does it look when you engage someone? So I'm going to use Mr. Joel here, Mr. Griffin. So how many people are familiar with our gift techniques? Hopefully everyone here is familiar with our gift techniques. So our gift techniques are primarily written down for handshakes. They're kind of for handshakes, but there's a lot more information there. So we're all familiar with gift of destruction, which is the first hand technique most of us will learn, depending on which system you're in and how you reorder the belt charts. So we're using this, and we're hitting the arm to the side. Why are we doing that on our first movement? Why are we doing our first movement in gift of destruction? What's it for? What is the threat? Is this the threat? That's the problem. This is, thank you for giving me something to work with. This is the problem. So we move offline, we do this, we come in, and we do all the things we like to do. Sometimes it doesn't take as much to put someone in a position where if you have to beat them up, you can, but you don't have to. So what I did there was just a simple thumb lock. Because a guy's giving you a handshake, he's giving you his thumb. So if I trust you, I tend to shake people whose hands I trust like this. If I don't know someone, I've just met you, so I don't hope I offend anybody if you're shaking my hand. Trust most people in the room because we're all here for the same reason. When I meet people who I don't know, I shoot my handshake in a little deeper. And I'm sitting here waiting for any body language that tells me that they have another intention that I'm not going to deal with. So as soon as something moves sideways, I'm taking my thumb and I'm anchoring it to the floor. I'm taking this knuckle and I'm rotating it in a circle towards my own shoulder. This cancels height, and when I drag it this way, it cancels width, which cancels what? We take two out, we get the third zone for free. At this point, I can manipulate the neck. Sometimes I'll take two fingers and hook in here because it's painful. At this point, I just need a pinky to get somebody on the floor. It doesn't take a lot of force once you get someone out of structure. If I need to escalate, once we've done this, and we've gotten to this, where are we at now? We've been cranking. We can get right back to what we do. So if I get to this point and I go, oh, it's not just him, it's his buddy coming. Now I can't be nice, sorry, I can't be nice to you because your buddy just escalated the situation. So we're gonna start, I'm not gonna give everybody the thumb lock because it's very involved and I don't want anybody breaking anybody's thumbs. are going to do is a lot of arm manipulations. So like we were doing Mr. Perry's seminar yesterday, I felt right at home during the blindfold portion of it, because once I get this information, I don't need to see where the body is anymore for the things that I tend to do. Does anyone here do any kind of grappling system of any kind? Judo, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, anything? Anyone? Little bit? Anyone know what an arm drag is? So an arm drag, you have control of the person's wrist. This hand either controls the elbow or controls the shoulder, depending on which one you want to do. So we have an arm drag that's just a simple pass-through, where we pass the arm to the side. We also have ones where we want to close the gap. This is where we would hold it closer to the shoulder. This hand pushes, and this hand pulls to bring the person closer to you. It depends on what you want to do and where you want them at. Most of the time, I use pass-throughs. The reason I use pass-throughs is I put people in the same positions over and over again. Mr. Pantano was talking about how when we're under stress, you're fighting someone, everything's on the line, you're going to default down to the lowest level of your training. The things you're most familiar with are the things you're going to do. So I focused a lot of my training on putting people in this same position over and over again off of every attack in the system. You grab my wrist, I can get to this point. You throw a punch, I can get to this point. You throw a kick, I can get to this point. And I know from this point, I can do all kinds of things I need to do, or a simple go-to is often just, because once people are trying to sit there and catch their breath, they don't want to fight you. I've learned a lot of times, once you hit somebody in the throat, they really don't want to fight you. So we're going to work off of 5 swords in the beginning. Now, something else from 5 swords. Guy throws a punch, we come in, and we do this. Is this arm likely to just be sitting here floating for you to catch it? So you have to either A, set up your catch ahead of time, or B, have a way of getting him to put his arm somewhere and keep it there long enough for you to get a hold of it. So sometimes I'll do this and have this arm ready to immediately crane down, and now I know where this arm is. If I don't have that, when I get to the second movement, when I get to here, a lot of times I will hit and I will freeze here and hold this. I'm trying to interrupt his breathing for a second, and I'm messing with his eyes just for a second. This isn't to end the fight. This isn't to really cause any damage. This is just because what do we do when something blocks our vision or stops us from breathing? Try to get off of us. So I know that this here is going to make his hands go to find my hands. And that's all I want is one of his hands to go find my hands. So now I can track down and find his. Now from here, distraction, drag, crane, kick his legs out, do your leaping crane, backbreaker, snatch his arm if you need it. So we're going to work off of that. So 5 swords, minus the timing drills that we just worked on. We're here. Once you get to here, I want you to really focus on getting your thumb under your training partner's chin so that when you close your hand, you're closing it with their nose and their mouth. That's to get the hands to react. You just track down, get your other distraction in here. If you want it to the face, if you want to go straight to the next move, I don't care. I want you to get to this point. And then we're going to work on passing the arm over. You grab the tricep, you just move the arm from this pocket to this pocket. And all you guys are high enough ranks in the room for the most part, you should know from here, you can go into any of your movements that we do, because we have a lot of movements where we shade off someone's shoulder and get to here. Does anyone have any questions before we start drilling this? Nope? Grab a partner, let's go.